Hello, my name is Citizen Meta 1. Today we're going to be doing some full performance capture, recording the face and the body directly into Rokoko Studio. After that, we're going to bring this into Unreal Engine and apply it to our MetaHuman. Hello, my name is Citizen Meta 1. Today we're going to be doing some full performance capture, recording the face and the body directly into Rokoko Studio. After that, we're going to bring this into Unreal Engine and apply it to our MetaHuman. Hello, my name is Citizen Meta 1. Today we're going to be doing some full performance capture, recording the face and the body directly into Rokoko Studio. After that, we're going to bring this into Unreal Engine and apply it to our MetaHuman. Hey, what is up? Today I'm going to be making a very long video kind of documenting the process of how I'm working currently of doing a full performance capture for a MetaHuman in Unreal Engine 5. And performance capture, as far as like a term in the industry, I've learned means that we are capturing the face and the body at the same time, and that is a specific scenario where you're probably not doing backflips and whatnot, and you're going for more of like a natural like actor's performance versus doing like flips and punches. You don't typically record the face or even the hands really during that stuff because it's very physical and you would then capture it separately or animate it separately. So it's already a long intro, but let's get into it. I'm going to go through some of like the little details of just generally this workflow, mocap and whatnot, getting it onto a MetaHuman, and then specifically for Rokoko people that are looking to get into this or are doing it already, the little things that I've learned along the way. So I'm going to start by going and getting the suit. There's a couple little things about the suit and the gloves that I just want to cover that I've learned, and if I'm wrong, would love to know how to do them better. So let me go get that suit. Okay, so we have our stuff here. A lot of batteries. We'll talk about that in a second. It's pretty important to this whole workflow. So we have the mocap suit itself. Pretty straightforward. You just put it on. Not really a lot to talk about. However, the nuance comes when you're powering it and you're using it with the gloves, because the gloves are kind of a new addition to the whole pipeline. So behind it is the power center or hub or whatever. So that's in here. And this is like what's going to connect to the wireless, and it has a little cable coming out. You'll see we have a bunch, but there's this one cable. It's a USB cable here. I'm not going to zoom in on it, but it's a little USB cable, and so you need to power the suit from a USB power bank, and they won't send you one, so you have to go fend for yourself and get your own power bank. So that's one of the first things about Rokoko that you need to sort out. So there's a little pouch here. There's a pouch, and in it is a battery, and what I'm currently using is an HTC battery bank that has USB-C and USB-A, I think is what it's called. And this is actually for the HTC Vive wireless adapter. That's these batteries, and they're really nice and they're smooth, and most importantly, they fit perfectly in the little pocket that's back there. So you can use whatever battery you want, but that's what I'm using. So that's step one. So if you're just doing the suit, that's enough. But if you want to add the gloves, which I recently started doing, you need to power those each as well. So let me grab these things. So these are the Rokoko Smart Gloves. Not a great shot of them or whatnot, but they work really well. They have little power banks on them as well, and wireless transmitters, I imagine, or something like that. And these actually need to get plugged in through the suit and powered individually is what I've found. So what ends up happening is you take this very long additional USB-C cable. This plugs into the glove, like not a great shot of it, but this plugs into the glove, and then it threads all the way through the suit back into here. So this short cable here, or this longer cable, is for the powering the suit, and then you'll see I have these two cables here. These power the arms. So you're gonna plug these in like this basically. I don't know if this is the right or the left one, but you basically plug in the glove like this through one sleeve, and then you're going to plug in the other glove like this. And so they're both plugged in, right, and powered in. They're kind of just dangling there. I think that's okay to do. They seem pretty strong. And then you have to power each glove individually because they really take a lot of power. So I originally started doing this with this Anker battery that has 2 outputs on it, and it didn't work very well. It's hard to say the power ratings, the power draws, I don't really know, but shout out to Jonathan Winbush, who recommended me these 2 Anker batteries, which are very small and they go in the back pouch really nicely, and they do give enough power each to power the gloves. So that's pretty nice. So what it normally looks like is I'm going to plug in the battery, plug in the body into the battery that's in here. Again, it's the HTC one. Okay, so I just plugged in the battery for the suit, and I guess I could show it. This thing is going to turn on. You see the head sensor turned on right there. And this little thing is turning on here, and eventually it's going to be green and then blue. I'm not going to zoom in on it. If you have Rokoko stuff, you'll see it. Anyway, you get a blue status light, and that's what you want. It means it's on 5 gigahertz, which we'll talk about in a second too. And then we're going to plug in each glove individually with these little Anker batteries here. So battery per one. It's kind of annoying. You would think you could use a triple bank. I don't find that to work. Maybe other people have, I'm not sure. But there it is. You'll see that this glove is on and connected. Has green, which means it's 2.4 gigahertz, which is fine, which you'll see. And then they're both on and both connected. So that's the first step. It took me longer than I would like it to actually get that up and running, because they don't send you the batteries. But then this whole thing just zips up like this. I gotta untangle the head sensor. Hold on. And then here's the head sensor flopping around. So we have the body turned on, we have both gloves turned on, and you'd be checking in Rokoko Studio to see if they're connected or whatnot. I know they are because I've been testing all day. But that is how you have to get the Rokoko suit set up. So power the Rokoko suit itself, its own battery, big one. They'll last forever. I almost never charge these things. And then I have a battery per glove, and again, they last for a very long time. But just getting that all sorted at first, because they don't give you the batteries like an XN suit would do. One of the first hurdles to getting it up and running. So the next thing that's interesting about the Rokoko suit, and it's the same for XNs, and it's probably similar for Perception Neuron, is that you have to connect this to your computer, right? Okay, so if you're just using a normal router that comes with like your ISP, whatever, like from Verizon or whatever is what I have, that doesn't work so well. And if it's in like a different room or a different floor, it really degrades the performance of the system. So what I went and did is I went and bought an Asus router, which I can link to down low, and I'll take a shot of it or something like that over there. But it's its own dedicated router, and that gets an Ethernet cable directly into it. Then I Ethernet cable from the router to my computer, and then that router, which is a Wi-Fi router, I can manage the connection to the suit and then the connection to both gloves. So you're connecting 3 things to this wireless router through wireless: the suit, 2 gloves. You're connecting directly to the computer from the router, and then you have your phone, which is a 5 gigahertz connection. You can technically do 5 gigahertz to the suit and the gloves. However, I've found that they are working for me best with the gloves in 2.4 gigahertz, which is still enough bandwidth, still fast enough. And I forget if the suit's 5 or 2. But in either case, it's this kind of balanced dance, and depending on your comfort level with networking, which my level with networking comfort level is very low. I don't like doing this kind of stuff. That took me a while. I tried to get this to work, I think it was years ago. I was working with this and using my stock router, and the router was like way far away on like a different floor, and that connection was pretty bad. The router now is literally 5 feet behind this camera right now, so it's like point blank in the same room, and it's called a dedicated access point. Nothing else is on that Wi-Fi network, and again, it has its own dedicated 1 gigahertz up and down. I don't know if that matters in this case, but a very fast internet connection. Nothing else is on it. My kids' iPads aren't on it. It's just the phone, just the suit. You really need to get that up and running before any of this works together. So those are the 2 main setup points for Rokoko. Getting the power set up for this was a little bit of a thing because it doesn't come with it. Getting the router set up, because it doesn't come with a router. Like XN suits come with a router, and they kind of show you how to do that explicitly with the Ray hardware. Rokoko users, we kind of have to like borrow from what they're doing and use the exact hardware. So powerful Wi-Fi router, 3 batteries. Okay, we're kind of moving along now. So this is a bit niche. Again, not everyone has access to a Technoprops helmet, but it's the one I'm using. If you saw my other video, you'll see that I have changed my foam layout here. So I'm actually thin foam for the top and the top sides, thick foam for the front because that's kind of comfortable, and then medium foam for the back. And so I'll show you the fit now. Is like this. And I don't know if you saw the other video, it was sitting much higher on my head because I had thicker foam all over it. I was like, let's just put the thick foam in, and it was not sitting well. Now it sits like really like a normal helmet. Before it was very high and I was like, oh, this must be how it works, but this is much better. And I've also tweaked the arm up so that it's more in front of my face like that. And so when I tighten this thing down with no weight or anything on it, it's sitting, I'm just testing my my eyebrows. It sits way better. So like I was saying in the other video, getting the fit right for your helmet is very important. And everyone has a different helmet rig. You might be using standard deviation, might be a skate helmet with like an action mount. I have one of those too set up somewhere. I just don't use it anymore. But getting this fit right with Technoprops or your standard deviation or whatever helmet, you're gonna keep iterating on that and testing different things out. Specifically with Technoprops, it's really a battle of configuring the foaming, which is, you would think it doesn't make a huge difference, but honestly switching the foam is like night and day with the balance. So I'm going to put the suit on, and what we're going to be doing that's kind of unique or proprietary or specific, domain specific to Rokoko, is that we're going to be recording the body, the hands, and the face into Rokoko Studio. So completely without Unreal Engine, we're recording the entire performance. I'm not going to live stream that into Unreal Engine and try to record that, because Rokoko locomotion data, you need to kind of clean it up in Rokoko Studio, similar to an Xsens, talking with this helmet on. Similar with Xsens, you don't really live stream that to Unreal Engine. You're going to want to record it into Rokoko Studio, into Xsens, and then do HD processing. Rokoko's the same thing. You can get okay raw data, but you get much better if you process it. So the big picture difference here in my first test of it is full performance capture, face and body gets recorded to Rokoko Studio, clean it up, and then we send it to Unreal Engine to retarget, and then clean up again in Sequencer and whatnot. So I'm gonna hop in this suit and record a quick take. Okay, so yeah, getting into mocap suits always kind of a thing. So I'm in this suit now, and again with the gloves, which is new. Typically with Rokoko stuff, if you don't have the gloves, there's a sensor on the hand here. But there's also a sensor on the glove. So like, how does this kind of work? So they showed this in other videos. I think it's worth showing again. The prescribed method of this is to just simply take off the hand sensor and you just roll it back, and it's just chilling there. So you kind of just have like two sitting there, which feels kind of weird to do. But then you just put the glove on over it. So that's something I think that was worth repeating and showing over and over again to Rokoko people. I remember thinking about that when I first got the gloves. I was like, how does this all work? And I found the video. There is just one video on it though, so I thought I would echo it and put more out there. But yeah, so I have both of them rolled back now, and these are just floating. Luckily the connection is very strong. It's like especially tight, the connection, so you can really hang the glove from it, and doesn't seem like it's hurting it. Hopefully it's not hurting it. And then the glove, just as I put it on off camera, goes on like this, really simple, nothing too much there. You do end up having to pull the wrist sensor back quite a bit, like this, to have it fit, and then it's pretty snug. You definitely want to look at the sensors on the glove itself. There's one here, there's one on each finger, and there's one on the thumb. So you want to make sure that they're not gonna get like jostled really. So we have it here. I know it's like black on black right now. But anyway, that's the left hand on, and I'm gonna do the same thing for the right hand. So there it is, both gloves on now. It took, I'm not gonna lie, this took me like a couple weeks, not of every day, but of like doing it a bunch of times, and now I've done it a couple times, like anything. They're both connected immediately. This takes work with your router, the suit's connected, and then you have to use the phone too. So we're gonna be using, this is a good point. I don't know if I'm gonna show footage of it. I don't know if you can see this. You can kind of see it. So instead of LiveLink Face, which is this app, we're gonna be using Rokoko Remote. And so this allows us to record the ARKit data, which is what you call the data coming out of the phone. LiveLink Face will stream that data to Unreal Engine, right? And so you could use Take Record there. That is really good for a not full performance capture. That's really good if you're going to do the body separately than the face, which I've been doing up until now. But if you want to record it all together in one place and have one backup of your body data and your face data all in one place, all synchronized together, Rokoko Remote is going to allow you to do that. So that's what I'm testing today. And as a solo user, just to record everything into one place, that's pretty nice. That being said, I haven't done the process of sending the face data to Unreal Engine, but it doesn't look too hard. I don't think that, I think that either Unreal Engine expects LiveLink face data, which is just a LiveLink connection, or it will take the Rokoko data, and that's also a LiveLink connection. So it should all work out. But I just wanted to point that out here. We're using Rokoko Remote, not LiveLink face, but essentially they're very similar in doing the same thing. And now got my Technoprops helmet. Very fun to have this up and running. Very comfortable. It's also black, so it just looks right with all the Rokoko stuff that's also black. And let me show you, the most exciting part is the head sensor. Where is that thing? Uh-oh. Where's my head sensor? To hold the counterbalance on. But the headband, depending on your suit, can be used to attach the head sensor. So we could take this right now, the head sensor, and stick it right on the back. That would be fine. It's just, for my case, I actually have to use a counterbalance with the iPhone. So that spot's kind of taken, and I don't want them to kind of fight for space with each other back there. Anyway, so there's my counterweight on like this. And what am I forgetting? So let's put the phone on then here. Like this. This one slots in right like that. And this is my first time using the helmet with it set up like this. And yeah, this is really good now. This is better than when I had it before. Pretty good, pretty good. I can't crank it. If I go really hard, it would probably move around. But again, we're not capturing head banging. Really, that's not my goal. So the most important step, or not the most important, but the final step, is where's this head sensor go? I'm pretty sure it's the same with Xsens and probably, I don't know how perception works actually, but I know for a fact the Xsens one has the same exact thing. So you could put it on the side. You could put it anywhere, honestly, but I have a Velcro thing right on the top from this helmet, so that's maybe a good place to put yours. It just goes right here, like that, and then the cable goes to the side. So I don't know if you can see it or not, but there's my head sensor up there. You gotta connect it to the helmet. So that would normally be on your Rokoko headband if you're not using a face rig. And so there it is. This is the full setup, getting dressed with Rokoko and whatever helmet you use. The helmet is just plastic, and the phone's really the big thing. So to recap, before we go into Rokoko Studio and do a performance, actually, well, this is the mocap. So this is the mocap stuff. There's one other thing I'm gonna add into this. You might be able to guess, but anyway, gloves both connected on Wi-Fi, body connected on Wi-Fi, phone connected on Wi-Fi, and everything set up in blue lights and everything. So there's one more thing I got to add into it. Let me go get it. Okay, so this is more of an audio filmmaking thing, just so much equipment that I've been accumulating over time. If you followed some of my other channels and projects, I have not acquired this equipment in the last month or year. It's been years of getting all this equipment and the computers and all this stuff together, for my company. This is not something I just went and bought all of it at once. And a lot of it is kind of sponsored too. Anyway, the main recorder I'm using is a MixPre 3. This is pretty much the best one you can get. Not crazy expensive either, really nice. Has analog limiters, so if you're peaking and you're not monitoring and actually mixing the audio live, because I'm not going to be mixing my audio, I just kind of generally set the level. This will actually protect you from peaking in a lot of cases. It records to an SD card, and it does a lot of other stuff that I probably don't even know. Next we have Sennheiser G3s. These are film industry standard. I have had these for a very long time, doing interviews and filmmaking stuff. Sennheiser G3s. Pretty solid. There's nicer ones out there, but these work quite well. And so I'm basically going to take the transmitter here, and Rokoko has a bit of a pocket on this side, so I just stick this right in the pocket. Perfect transmitter holder. And I do not do this very well, so any people working in the actual sound industry, you're probably like, this is some garbage. But hey, man, I'm trying to do a lot of things at once, which means I don't do them all at like full professional level. We have a Sanken lav mic. I think that's what it is. This is one of the better ones. It's surprisingly expensive little lav mic, but it makes a difference, and especially because I do very little post work, I try to go for the best primary capture I can in most cases. So this, luckily the Rokoko suit has like literally like a little, I'll not have a close-up of it, but it has like this little lapel, like literally for a lav mic. I usually do it in the mirror. Well, it's not on perfectly, but I'll go look in the mirror. But essentially is sound. So this is the first time I've actually had to do it this way, because I normally capture this at my desk over there with that mic, with the phone mounted to my desk. This is the first time I've put the phone on a helmet. So of course I need to wirelessly record the sound as well. So probably pretty obvious, but again, I wanted to show what my workflow is, show for other people getting into it that don't mind a very long video. Rokoko suit, Rokoko gloves, iPhone, helmet, and wireless nav mic. And now I am finally ready to do full performance capture. So I'm gonna go make sure everything's actually set up, and then I'm gonna record a take. I'll show you the Rokoko Studio, and then we'll bring it into Unreal Engine. See you there. Okay, so it's a lot to record this and the BTS, so forgive me, this might be a little messy, it's my first time, but have everything connected in Rokoko Studio, so I'm gonna roll on audio here. That's rolling, right? I think it is. The audio doesn't record. Big sad. I'm gonna go hit record in Rokoko Studio, which I'm screen recording that too. And let's do some stuff. Let's do some stuff finally. Hello, my name is Citizen Meta 1. Today we're going to be doing some full performance capture, recording the face and the body directly into Rokoko Studio. After that, we're going to bring this into Unreal Engine and apply it to our MetaHuman. And here we go into it. Pretty cool. It's the whole body moving. You can see the hands are doing their thing. They kind of cross through each other, so I'm gonna have to clean that up, which is good because that's what I want to check out. That point looked pretty nice. We're just gonna have to kind of change where the hands actually land. They cross through each other again, and there's my ending right there. Okay, so here we are in Unreal Engine 4.26 right now. 5 is still a little bit new to be doing the retargeting, though. I'll be doing the cleanup in 5, I hope. And what we basically have is a MetaHuman here, of course, and we have our Rokoko Studio sending us a live link for the body and the face, which is the first time I've used it. I'll link to a tutorial that shows this basic workflow. However, how Sam does the face setup is unnecessary, but that's like a different video to really diagnose the entire thing. But you do not need to do all the reposing and stuff like that for the face, because the face is separate from the body. You really don't have to do that. But again, here is our little clip from before. Okay, there it is. So I'll let this play, and Unreal Engine should be able to handle this at the same time. So we'll see the Rokoko performance on the right. Again, that's all they're really responsible for. It is our responsibility to get it onto the MetaHuman and then to clean it up. But you'll see that the default remapping that happens here is pretty good. And the things like the hands crossing, and I think the elbows are a little bent in a little bit of an odd way. That could be actually part of the retargeting that I've done a little bit off. However, I can fix all of this in Sequencer, which is what I'm going to do. At 30. I'm going to start recording here. 3, 2, 1. So all of this is just nothing. It's just sitting there. And then we're going to hit play on this. And it's going to start recording. And I'm actually going to... So this is kind of a messy take. I'm just going to start it over. So this is kind of... yeah, going to have to clean up that animation. But there we go. Now we're playing it. And now we're recording it. So kind of messy. And if your computer can't handle this kind of... multiple things happening, definitely just turn off the lights in the scene or go to unlit, and then it won't take up very much processing power. However, my Z8 cares not about all these processes and screen recording in OBS. I can just do pretty much everything. It's kind of crazy. So there we are at the end. We have it all pretty sure right there. Yeah, so I'm going to stop now. That should have stopped the take. It's going to do some finalizing. That's fine. Yeah, it's something about the lights. Who knows? So that should have gotten saved to cinematics, takes. I've done a lot, a bunch anyway. So it's in here. So this is the body most likely, and this is the head. Something that's very important is that you change this to that body type. So it's male, tall, normal right there. That's very, very, very important. It just is. Not going to go into it, but yeah, you want to make sure that that is the right body of the body that you are using. We have everything as an animation asset now, right? So we're done with the Rokoko end of it, and now we have data retargeted onto our metahuman. And there's a couple little issues that we're going to fix, depending on the level of finish you want to get to. I'm going to sort out his elbows. I'm going to double check his fingers. I am going to clean up these parts where the hands go through each other. There's some default... Yeah, there's something definitely wrong with the elbow. I'll go untwist it. This is my fault on my retargeting that I've written, but I'll fix it. And there's just some like general positioning of the hands that I'm not in love with. If we check out the face without the audio here, actually I could sync up the audio. Maybe I'll sync up the audio too in a second. Okay, before I go to Unreal Engine 5, I actually have the audio brought in from the Mix Pre 3 down here. You just bring it in like it's an NLE, and you just try to line it up as best you can. I'm not sure it's perfectly lined up. I don't have my clap sync as part of this take. But really, as we get into like really detailed lip sync cleanup, which is what we'll be doing, we will have the tools there to diagnose the perfect lineup there. So let's just check this take out as it is. So this is the full raw retarget, raw lip sync, no cleanup yet. Hello, my name is Citizen Meta 1. Today we're going to be doing some full performance capture, recording the face and the body directly into Rokoko Studio. After that, we're going to bring this into Unreal Engine and apply it to our metahuman. Hey, what's up? Editor, me here. And I'm just kind of time-lapsing through a little bit of the body cleanup process. I don't have like a nice recap for it, but I did live stream kind of figuring out the process. There's a lot of new techniques like I'm trying out and different things, and there's just a lot of techniques for cleaning up mocap depending on what is wrong, what you want to fix, etc. So if you really care, you can watch the very long live stream of me going through that and cleaning up the body, and I will link that down below. But up next is going to be just a little bit of a recap on how I approached cleaning up the lip sync after, and there's also a very, very long live stream of that process too. So here we are in Unreal Engine 5, and I have my final lip sync animation cleaned up here, and I wanted to just kind of share what this looks like when it's all done. It's a little intimidating, it's a little crazy, but nonetheless, this is the process. So I didn't actually leave markers in the beginning, but this all begins by essentially parsing through the audio. You can see the waveform here, and just scrubbing back and forth and listening to it. And the more you do this, the more you can instantly decode actual audio and figure out which one of the kind of standard phonemes matches it. I'm actually missing a couple, like UH and AY and a couple others, but you can still get done quite a bit. So to kind of break this one down here, what I'm starting to do is put the phonemes in red that I know for a fact ARKit is not going to do a good job with. And that is first on the list, MBP. ARKit is essentially the way that it is now implemented, LiveLink Face with the pose asset. It's almost impossible for it to hit a normal speech MBP. You could do an overpronounced one, but that almost never happens in actual speech. So I've put that one in red, and when it comes to implementing this, I'm not going to show that whole process now. I actually live streamed it, but it's pretty heavy. You have to do a lot of stuff in the curves to actually implement a proper MBP. That's one of the reasons it's hard to get this to actually happen, to actually have the lips close like that. And then to make it prettier, you would add lips press and a couple other things to add pressure, and just have it look nicer because it's kind of generic that way. The other one that it will almost never hit is FV, and that requires, let me make sure I'm cleaning them out. Actually, this isn't even on at the moment, but that's essentially this control right there. It's my text messages and upper funnel. But you actually have to go and turn off a bunch of other ones because they will actually counter FV and V, which I don't know if I can find a FV and V in here. There's definitely a couple. But that one would be red too. And so I'm starting to develop this marker system. And I expect many people to do this manually. So what I'm going to do next is make it so that when you click the button and your timeline, your playhead is here, it'll add the marker for you. So that will make this slightly easier. But ultimately, this is all leading towards a bit of an automation process, right? Because I still don't expect most people to go through that. This is still quite a bit of work to do that, let alone implement it, which is what I've done manually. But I'll start to kind of automate that too. Really, in the end, you want something that's going to parse the audio for you and drop these initial keys down there, and then have the keys actually be pretty clean. So let's see. I'm going to neutral this. So if we look at the MUBA curves here, I don't want to get too into this, but each one of these curves, when properly cleaned up, has a very distinct pattern. Like this one that's very up and down, I know for sure that's lips together. Actually, some of these curves are not completely cleaned up, and there's some linear keys in here. But essentially, I've been cleaning them up by hand just to learn what the proper keys look like. So in context of cleaning up mocap, where there's lots of data before and after, it's animation, it's not just pose to pose. There are inherent patterns to how this has to get thrown down there for it to look natural. So this is just like a little peek at my current workflow. If you are a full-on mocap animator for the face from Cubic Motion, ILM, Weta, etc., you're going to do it this way. And you're going to do even more controls than this because there's like 150, and you're going to probably rock all of them. You're going to do all of them, and it's a lot of just like, look at the jaw open track, actually. It's just this, and your life is animating in curves like this, and you have opinions about the curves and what tangents to use. I'm just using auto tangents still. But for the majority of us, we don't want to get into this level. I will do this for like final anims for like my game, or things where like, spending a week on an animation is actually an investment that I'll keep getting returns on and I'll use over and over again. Most people, I imagine you make an animation and it's ephemeral content, right? It just goes away. People watch it and it does, hopefully it does well for you, but you're unlikely to use the asset. Again, spending this amount of much time here, it doesn't really makes sense, even just financially, time-wise. It's just too heavy. So I'm going to continue down this path. I'm interested in like the core base knowledge of what this is and how it actually works for metahumans specifically. Some of it is generic facts, action unit knowledge, and just general animation knowledge, but I am specifically looking for the technical mechanics for programming as I keep going onto this kind of this path of programming things, but on how it works for the metahuman. So that's a little bit of the journey here. If you are interested in watching the entire very painful process of me figuring this out and doing the actual lipstick cleanup here. Ooh, I think I moved a mark. Oh well, I don't care anymore. I did live stream that, and I'll link that in the VOD below.